Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Dr. Ned Show. I'm Dr. Neda Amani, and I'm so excited and pleased and honored to be joined today with Joy, or Hyacinth.
Thank you.
So nice to have you with us today, Joy.
Thank you.
We're going to get right into it. I'm going to actually let you start with sharing something that you wanted to share with everyone.
Well, tonight, firstly, I want to give God thanks for His many blessings towards us. Had it not been for Him, then we don't know what would have happened to us. But tonight, I'm grateful, I'm happy, I'm excited to be with Neda. You know, I'm so impressed. I'm speechless, but I'll talk. I'll be able to talk.
First, start with what's in your heart that you were telling me before we get into this episode and the message that we want to share with everyone.
Well, my message I want to bring across the world today is the message of love. And today I know that it takes a lot to love. It takes a lot. But we have to be at that place where we can love no matter what the circumstances. That's one of God's promise to us, that we should love. And I definitely am very godly. I'm a godly woman. I fear God a lot. And for that reason, I have to big him up every time. Because he deserves all the glory. Because none of us can do it on our own without his strength. You know, at times we feel like we can do it, but we are just not able to. You know, had it not been for his grace and his mercies, then definitely.
So you say that, and what I want to share with everyone is what strikes me, what has really left an impact on me ever since the first day that I met you, was the incredible energy and power within you and about you. So as we were setting up for tonight, this is our first evening interview. I said to our crew, I said, I don't think we can house Joy in this space because she's so big, she's so huge.
Thank you.
And that's that energy about you. I feel it in my heart right now. And maybe you can share, other than that energy that I feel about you and that is real about you, that is in your voice, is in everything about your presence. It's so moving and striking. Maybe you can share how you've come to know God or have God as such a huge player in your life by the story of whatever you're comfortable in sharing, of the story of your life and what you've overcome to be here today.
Okay, so words are inadequate just to say, what I've been through. Looking at me, I might seem very young. And that's again because of God's grace. Because looking at me today, it's not the picture like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I never see myself to be even doing something like this because of things that I've been through. And as a result of that, I think my life is a living example. A sample with example. I've been there, done that. All of that stuff, like there's so much I want to share with the world today about love. Love conquers all. And it takes wholehearted feeling to love someone who hates you. But again, it should be a part of us to love, no matter what the circumstances. God says we should love. Even our enemies, we should love. So that message I want to bring widely, and I cannot leave God out of the picture because he's the center of my joy. My name is Joy. My name is Hyacinth, and hyacinth is a beautiful flower.
Yes.
And I was affectionately called Joy. So I'll just share a little of who I am. So I'm Joy Hyacinth from Jamaica. Born and raised in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. A lot of people hear about Kingston, Jamaica, feel a little bit scared, but I'm a proud Jamaican, no matter what. I always use this phrase, nowhere no better than yard, meaning there's no place like home. I am so thrilled to, be a part of her show. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
So, Joy, the connection that you feel, thank you for that. The connection that you feel that many people don't feel, even who might have faith, and how God has worked in their life. Can you share a little bit about how people can tap into that God within themselves to bring out their joy, their youthfulness, right? Their beauty, their power? How would you say that, you've been able to learn how to bring that out from within?
Okay, and yeah, I must say it's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. But when you love, I say love conquers all. Because when you love, it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter what. And I find the world today, it's all about money. It's about fame. It's what about I can make if I do this. How well am I gonna be paid? For me, it's different. And that's the love I want to bring to people today. My life is I don't know how to put it in words, but it's like an ocean that, it never runs dry. I find myself always smiling, even in my bad times, in my down days. I can still smile because I have love, I have joy within me. And I remember at one point I was going through terrible relationship, marriage, and it was just unsatisfied. Like it was just so deep, I couldn't, and going through even a divorce that I wasn't even expect. I tell you, it took love, it took courage, it took faith for me to stand here today to tell people or to tell the world that it's not you, it's the Christ that lives within you. Today, when I look at where I am, 10 years ago, I'm telling you, I wasn't here. I would be worried, I would be stressed about how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? But as a person from Jamaica coming to Canada, I remember a certain, person talked to me one Sunday, and that person left something inside my heart that keeps me going. And that person is a dear friend of mine that told me this. We had a celebration for leaving Jamaica and everything. And I just realized that person did not come up to celebrate. That person was busy praying. And I remember after church one Sunday, she said to me, my sister, everybody's inside the church jumping, happy about your leaving and whatever. But my sister, I want to tell you, get to know God for yourself. And I couldn't understand why she was telling me this. I was saved, I'm a Christian. I couldn't see why. But she said everybody was happy that you're leaving, but you're going to a country where you know nobody. You get married, you're going away, and you're taking your kids. And it's not as easy. And I remember she said to me, get to know God. And she said, sister, I said, get to know God in the sense that you are going to be there. You don't have family there. It's just your husband. This man, you know nobody there. But I want you to get connected.
Even though you were already, she knew you to be a woman of faith.
Yeah. But
she still told you or advised you, get further connected. Yeah. Because you're going to have further challenges.
Yeah. And when she said it, she went as far as she said, I sit in church and I was interceding on your behalf. I was praying God's connection to you leaving Jamaica, going to Canada where you don't know anybody. She said you're married to a man that you think you know all about. And this didn't ring a bell to me, like this was something that my marriage was gonna fall apart after 7 years. They say in Jamaica, they say 7-year crosses, 7 years rise and fall, all of that. For me, I wasn't even thinking like that. But she was connecting to God, and she warned me. And as a result, each time I felt that I was gonna fall victim to my situation, that thing kept me. Because I remember she said, when you're going to a country where you're married to a man, he's taking you to Canada, like you have kids with him, but you still don't know that man. She said, men are like green lizard. And if you know green lizard changes color. So she said,
not all men. Not all men.
Well, we are Jamaicans, and this is the way we put it. This is the way we emphasize about male.
Oh, okay.
Which, when she said it to me, I said, I just got married. Why is she telling me this? But I was still listening. But that thing that she said, get connected to God. And she said, my sister, I'm telling you, if you don't, men are like green lizard. Things will change. Things will happen. You have no family there. And it was exactly what I went through.
So Joy, though, this I can hear this so loud, and you're so vocal, right, about this and about the importance in your life. Many people might have a faith or a belief, and they keep it very, very quiet or very, very hidden almost, or they don't share that, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the most amazing things that struck me about you is that you are very open and very vocal with your belief and how much of a role it plays in your life and in your strength and power. What would you say to people who maybe have never experienced that, or don't have people have different faiths. People have, there are people out there who are connected to their power with no faith, right? So it's the whole realm of spirituality, which we will talk about in future videos, is our connection to our power within. And then this is how I define it anyway, is our connection to our power within, our connection to each other, right? Mm-hmm. And then our connection to something out there we cannot say, right? Now, in your life, you are a Christian, you believe in Jesus, and you believe in, God, and that's what's given you strength and power. In somebody else's life, it may look like a different thing. It may just be that they're, connected or to energy or consciousness, or they might have a different word for it, an experience for it. And all of those experiences and all the paths are very, very valid and important, because they ultimately bring us to our own power. They can anyway, to each other, to love, what you said, right? To love, and to all life, which includes plants and animals and all of life, right? So if we kind of view it as spirituality in that way, your path is something that is not in your head from what I'm hearing at all, right? In knowing you, it's something that's lived experience. No one told you, Joy, you need to believe in God for your spirituality, right? Or you need to believe in this and that. You've experienced it. You live it every day.
Yeah.
Can you explain how that lived experience is for someone who maybe has never experienced that? Maybe has never. One thing you said that that is really important, and I know from your story, is when you had all the reason to fall and all the reason to give up and all the reason to be down on the ground and feeling like a victim, because the circumstances of your life certainly were that, right?
Yes,
you could have identified with that. You didn't, and it's your faith, your actual heartfelt connection to your spirituality, God, in your experience, that really protected you from that. Can you maybe share a little bit about how actually that lived experience is for someone who hasn't? Because I think at this time right now, we're all searching for
the answer.
We're all searching for, I think at this time in particular, during this time, because everything is uncertain right now, like it's never been before for pretty much every person in the world. It's a very, very difficult, challenging time. We're in a phase where we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, where before we were planning, we were stuck in the material world, right? Yes. Go to work, buy, shop, consume, and everyone had sort of, something dependable that had been set up that they could fall back on. Well, right now, none of that is real anymore for many people. And so, right now, for people to be able to really tap into their own power for me is really, really important. And however that looks like for every single person is different.
Yes.
And every single path, including, just an affiliation or a power through nature, right? And that's it. It's equally valid and important. But you're here right now. You're my guest, and so your path, I think, if you can share how it feels like, rather than, because it's not in the head, it's in a feeling realm. How does it feel like, and how has it made you strong and able to face your challenges?
Well, again, it makes me. This is what I would want to say to people who are even not a believer of who God is, or who doesn't believe that there's a God that exists. I can assure you that there is a God with no if or but. I can tell you there is. And it's just that connection, Neda, like I'm sitting down talking to you. God is like I'm sitting down talking to you. He has never deafened his ears to us, because he knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb. He knows every strand of ear that is in our head. They are numbered. And as a result of that, this is who God is. We just want to see him like that.
But how do you experience it that, like you're saying this with 100,000% conviction, right? How do you feel that? How do you know that? Can you share an example of your life where through his presence you were able to overcome?
Yeah, I'm telling you, like even going through a divorce I wasn't expecting, and I believe in him. I know there's a God. I know he exists. I know I sit down one day and I sat down and I said, God, I know you are here. I know. For people who don't believe, you have to first believe that there's a God. Because you can't assume that there's a God and then that's gonna, you have to at least take that step of faith, that leap of faith to say, well, you know what? I hear this lady talk about God. Let me see. For me, my connection is the way I'm talking to you. It's as simple as that. The way I'm talking to you, it allows me to talk to God the same way. Because sometimes our tears, he even understand our tears we shed. Sometimes we all take tears for weakness. Sometimes tears are not always for weakness. So even those tears that over the years I've shed a lot of tears, but again, I tell you, because I have that divine connection with God, I know he exists. So like I tell you, I talk to him like I talk to you. I'm going through my deepest, darkest moment. There was days in my life I couldn't, like I have my meat, I have my peas, I have my everything to make my Sunday dinner. And I remember one Sunday I had no rice, I had no money. My mortgage was supposed to be coming out. And I remember I work and I had to put everything for my mortgage. And I remember that Sunday morning I woke up, and I'm telling you, this is a living testimony story. This is a story. This is the story, a part of the story of my life. And I remember sitting down that morning, putting the meat on the fire, everything, the peas, everything. And I remember there was just no rice in the bucket. And I said, wow, there's no rice. I just remember. No money. All I remember I had was $1,210. That was the mortgage amount. That money was in the account. And I remember that Sunday morning, I got up and I make everything. And then when I was ready to cook, there was no rice. And I remember my son came down, Mike. He came down and he said to me, Mommy, what are you going to do? And I said to him, Mike, everything is ready, but we're going to church and I have no rice. He said to me, Mommy, so how are you going to do this? I said, I don't have $1. I put everything in the mortgage. And he said to me, Mommy, so what are you going to do? I said, well, in God, I put my trust. That was just it. That's all. I said, I put my trust in God. And his words declare, if our faith is like a mustard seed, it can move the mountain. And I'm telling you, it did move that mountain that morning.
So what happened?
So I said to him, Mike, I'm gonna I'm gonna go to the store. He said, Mommy, but how you're gonna go? I said, I checked my account. It was just the mortgage that was there that was supposed to come out. He said to my Mommy, but how? So if the mortgage should come out Friday night, it's Saturday past, today is Sunday, so how are we gonna manage? I said, Mickey, I'm gonna trust God. I said, I'm going to the store. He said, Mommy, are you crazy? I said, no, I'm not crazy. I'm going to the store.
With no money in
With
the bank.
no money. I went with my bank card, and God is my witness. I said, I'm going to the store. I remember the voice actually said to me, go. And I got up, I took up my grocery bag like a woman with money. And I went to the grocery store. Before I went to the grocery store, my son said to me when I jumped in the car to leave, he said, Mommy, you know, I shoveled the neighbor's driveway, and the neighbor said he wasn't expecting me was going to come, but he said he went to the neighbor because he said he was going to give him something to shovel the driveway. And the kid went out and he saw the gentleman and he said, oh my God, Mike, you came. I didn't even have cash to give you. I only have $10. So that's the way right there.
Yes, yes.
That's the way.
Yeah.
So he said to me, Mommy, the neighbor gave me $10 and he said I should come back later. How much is the rice? I said the rice is like $6 something. He said to me, Mommy, so you can go buy the rice. I jumped in the car. I left with the $10 to go buy the rice. But in the grocery store, this was Food Basic on Erin Road.
Okay.
My thing is, I should be beaten for all of this because I should know date like this so I can do my stuff. And I remember I went to the grocery store with the $10 and the TD bank card. And I went in the store, I picked up the bag of rice, I put it in the trolley. But the voice was saying there was other stuff that the kids didn't have for the week. And I'm like, I only have $10. How am I gonna buy this? So I remember I started counting. So I have 4 kids at the house. And I'm like, I need to pick up snacks for them. They have nothing in the house. My husband wouldn't support me, wouldn't give me anything. And I remember that time I said to them, I'm going to go, God, you know. Yeah. And I took up little things like 4 bananas, because I wasn't worried about myself. I was more about the kids. And I remember picking up a little stuff. I went to the cashier. I can't remember now how much the money was. I only had $10. Yes. And I expect the mortgage to come out Friday, so there's no way. I already knew there was nothing in the account. But you still picked up all the stuff? But I still pick up everything, and I went with faith that God is going to do it.
Wow.
And I went with the $10. I went to the cashier. She did her thing, and she checked everything too, and then she told me what it was. And then she said, what are you paying, cash or debit? And I said, Jesus paid it all. Just like that, just jokingly saying to her, just Jesus paid it all.
Well, you hadn't given the money yet.
No, so I just said to her, she said, cash or debit? And as I sit here, I'm telling you, this is a real story.
Yes.
And I said to her, Jesus paid it all. And she said, I know Jesus paid it all, but this is what you have to pay.
Need to pay. Yeah.
I said to her, okay, so I have $10. I said, well, for the difference, take it from the card. I know there's nothing on the card. Honestly, I stood there waiting for her to embarrass me, to tell me, lady, your card has declined. This card went through. This payment totally went through. I lift my hands. I said, thank you, Jesus, right in Food Basic. I was coming up. People were looking for me because I was pushing my cart, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, going through the door. That's the faith that I had.
So what had happened?
I got my bill. Yeah. The money was paid. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know. Up to now, I don't know. I went home. My kids were like, Mommy, how did you get the stuff and you didn't have money? I said, I already tell you, He will make a way where there is no way. Until this day, Neda, believe me, I don't know how that card went through the machine.
Yeah, but I've heard of, my mom has such stories, and I've heard of such stories. I shared with, the story of my grandmother raising 7 kids, when her husband died very prematurely, and was a woman of faith. So, it's not far out there, but but it doesn't make sense to the logical
It
brain at
doesn't.
all.
It
How,
doesn't.
I know people are watching and saying, well, that's baloney. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But it happened for you.
It did.
And that's probably why it's not in your head. You've experienced it
Yes.
probably numerous. That's probably one of many examples in your
Yes,
life.
many. I have experiences where my mortgage, they were gonna take my home, because that time things was just so down for me. Just went through a divorce. Everything was like zero. Even getting my mortgage for 298,000, making under 50,000. I want you to check this out.
Wow.
See how this happened. I remember I was connected to this special real estate guy. I don't want to call his name because, but I remember I was connected to this guy through my ex-husband, and I remember talking to him and everything. And, he said to me, Joy, after going through the divorce, and I was able to keep the house. I remember even with, oh my God, there's so many things I can share.
I know.
So many things.
I've been struck by where would you say that, have you been challenged actually before, where you've been caught up? Because right now people are struggling with, when people struggle with anxiety and stress, I know that one of the things that actually helps people get through is their faith.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Or whether it's their faith in themselves or their faith in God or something else, it is some kind of strength that they have from within,
Yes.
right? That can help us get through times of difficulty. So with anxiety, do you ever feel fear or anxiety in all the difficult challenges in your life? Have you ever actually felt fear or anxiety?
I have been there as well. I have been there.
Has it been intense?
Yeah, intense. Like, I remember days I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, okay.
I remember, I know mortgages to be paid. This was one of my top thing that I tell you stress me.
Yeah.
Stress me. Literally hell, like thinking about it, can't sleep, can't eat, can't do anything, just thinking, how am I gonna make this? It's not possible.
Yeah. Okay. So even though, I just wanted to see that even though you have this strong faith, it is normal.
It's normal
to feel this way.
Normal.
So when you were feeling overwhelmed and you couldn't sleep and you couldn't think, what would you do in that moment to get the joy? Because that's that joy.
And then again, I'm gonna say, like, this is the connection you have with God, because a lot of people thinking when you're going through a problem, you need to pray 24/7 a day, 24 hours a day. No, you don't need to. The thing that people struggle with in life is things that you go to God with. Those, like, okay, I'm going through this. My mortgage is not paid. I go tonight, I pray. God, I put my mortgage in your hands. I ask you to provide. It's done. You don't need a whole
morning and night
and night and fasting and
just
whatever.
one time.
You just need to go to him one time, faith, believing. The work is
believe
done.
it's done.
And believe it's done. That's all it takes. That's what faith is.
There's a lot actually in the medical literature that I've researched and I've studied because of my interest in spirituality and wellness and health and human potential that ties in the connection between not only our health, but our human potential, our ability to, make our dreams come true, abundance, right? And everything in life, from love, relationships, financial abundance, and the connection between that and spirituality has been written about for a long time. Okay. For people who don't have, because I want this episode to resonate with people of different beliefs, including people of no belief. I've known that in my practice, for example, I've people who are searching or don't know or are agnostic necessarily will say, well, how do I know? Why should I go on that journey? And one, as an invitation of the spiritual journey, it's not a matter of actually believing anything, but it's just going to be on that journey of what are we about? What is this life about? Who am I really? I'll often say, well, if you've lived this way for now, okay, that's great. what about, thinking about what are the potential benefits of you going on this journey? Because if there's some benefits that maybe you haven't exercised, if there's a power that you can access that you haven't really connected to, it's probably worth even just exploring and seeing what the journey entails. So how would you say that? That's how I've said it to people in terms of encouraging them to even consider going on the journey and seeing what they find, right? From a heart space. How would you say, because you did say earlier that you have to believe first in order to see the effect, right? Yes. But many people will come and say, but I can't believe, I don't believe, because it doesn't make sense to me scientifically, logically. So what would you say to people, who you can say, I really know that you can get strength, you can get youthfulness, you can get abundance, all these things. What would you say to them to say, believe when they just can't believe?
It's a tough question, because the world we are living in today, people acknowledge different things as their gods. And from my personal sharing with you tonight is saying to you, get to know who God is. I don't know who your God could be, but I can recommend you to the God whom have helped me this far. And this is the creator, the one who made us, because the other gods,
There's one creator.
Yeah, and the other gods that people bow to, I don't want to condemn, but it's their belief. But I can say, if you believe that you were created and you were formed in God's image, then this is the God whom we need to serve. He's the one and only true God. And
it's a matter of spending or making it a priority to even go and discover what that is. Whereas we really haven't. We spend a lot of time, searching for the best clothing and the best look and our hair and our house and our car and all kinds of things. But I don't think we really prioritize that time for that exploration, right?
Yeah, and as a result, I would say to people who out there who don't know the answer or don't know how to find this answer, like I said before, God is a spirit, and once you acknowledge him as your creator and you say, God, this is my situation. I need you to take control. Believe me, that is all you need to do. Surrender yourself. Say, God, I've tried everything. I've tried the drugs. I've tried this. I've tried doctors. I've tried everything. And to me, everything failed. Just give it a try. That's all it takes. One look can turn you away from sin. Because a lot of times we sin in our own thought. So just that one look, can change your whole situation, your whole life, because it has transformed my life. There's so much story I can share to let you know that there's really a God, because how? So it's just, to me, it's just that one look.
So as we wrap up our conversation and we go to the banana fritter making session, I'd like to share, or maybe you can actually share, all the dreams that you're making come true right now, 10 years later, your life, and what now, fully in your power, what's ahead for you.
Yeah, well,
can I share the joy from Jamaica?
Well, there's so much I can share, because I can tell you, my life is a story. My life is a story. It's a living story. I've lived it, and I've been living, I've lived my life to the fullest. And it's not because I have money. I have no money. But I'm contented with whatever.
Can you share your abundance? Can you share the abundance that you have so much right now in your life? Because you have a lot, and I'm glad that you said that. I didn't know that you didn't have money, but when I'm with you, when I think of you, your presence, everything about you is abundance. So whatever you feel comfortable in sharing about the abundance, please do.
Yeah, my abundance is to just go out in the world and just share the love. Share the love. I believe in sharing. There are times I have 2 hours with a client, and the money counts, but at the end of the day, the person need the help. And this is where it comes back to the heart of love. That art of not saying, oh, I'm supposed to finish at 2. Sorry, Mrs. This lady could be dying. You know?
You stay
and
extra.
my abundance, my cup has just been running over because I share, I give. I don't think about money. I don't think about, okay, I have to go now, you know. I don't, you know. And I think if people start thinking that way, that just spending 5 minutes extra with a person who is in need, it can change. It can change a lot. We look on the television and we see these programs where they're saying, sponsor $5 and you can feed how much children or whatever. Sometimes we see it as nothing. But think about it. If we should have that real $5 in our pocket and we can really, this is a time that we need to share whatever we have. I remember days I've given stuff that I don't have for myself, but someone is in need and I think that person is in need of it more than I am. And I give it, and before the end of the day, the table turned.
And you've gotten...
And I've gotten double.
Yeah, and you've never done it to get that back.
No, because I'm not even expecting.
No, but the law is that it comes back to you.
It comes back to me.
Hundredfold.
And my hundredfold is still out there waiting for me. Because it's my time. It's my time to show the world that there is love. People who know me and know who I am will attest to that.
So one of the things that I'm going to be looking so forward to is Joy, Cooking with Joy from Jamaica, your cookbook, which I would love for you to share with the world soon.
And I will. I will by God's grace.
And now we're going to go and try to make your banana fritters, which is a great recipe as a wonderful treat. Yes, with just some leftover bananas that you can make at home with your children. It's not the healthiest, but it's an important treat.
And I could say it would be healthy. It's more tasty. Like
it's
when
tasty.
You put a little,
and
the only thing that is not too healthy about it is that you put a little sugar. You don't have to, but to get that little kick, you know.
And before we go, can we do a shout out to Jamaica, to all Jamaicans?
Well, I just want to say,
can I try the accent that I'm trying to learn? I just want to say.
So I just want to big up Jamaica people over the world, North America, Canada, USA. But I want to first big up Jamaica. One love, people, one love.
One love, people, one love.
One love.
Wait, like this? One love,
one
people,
love.
one love. Everything Irie,
Jamaica.
Joy, it's been so wonderful to have you here tonight with me. Thank you.
Thank you.